Good morning. My name is Festa Okrigwe from the National Center for Technology Management, Ilefi. I'm here to present a conference paper titled Assessment of E-Waste Management Practices in Nigeria, presented in the 2020 Sustainable Engineering and Industrial Technology Conference at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. The outline of this paper says, the outline I'm going to be doing introduction, and then I'll give the e-waste situation in Nigeria, and then the negative impact of the e-waste practices as it is done in Nigeria, and then the e-waste and their products and their pollutants as it is seen in even other nations of the world, and factors are influencing e-waste management practices in Nigeria and the way forward for e-waste management practices. Introduction. Here we have that technological innovations are reshaping all facets of the world, resulting to economic growth and development through the development of new technologies that have driven deeper the need for more advanced technologies with newer models, newer functionalities, and sophistication. However, this depends on factors such as the economic growth of the nation, the population size of that particular nation, the market penetration of the technology, and the upgrade and obsolescence rates of the technology. Now, advanced nations are known to be involved more into industrial development, and thereby they develop more in more technologies, especially the electrical and electronic devices, and thereby desire to get even more newer products and dump or dispose quickly the already used ones, which may not be bad or are no longer functional, and then they dispose these used electronic devices to developed countries which are more populated, and most of them are poor. And therefore, poor nations, as we see in the African scenario, the Nigerian sector, or Nigeria seems to be the largest in Africa, and then the poverty rates also in the country is high. And most of these obsolete devices that are being disposed from the developed nations, about 80% of them are imported into Nigeria, which has given a higher growth rate of e-waste in Nigeria. Now, looking at the importance of this e-waste in a country like Nigeria, is that almost all schools, offices, and homes have adopted the use of this electronic equipment for easy communication and for work effectiveness, making this industry the largest in the world. But the equipment have the shortest lifespan. That's to say, they get obsolete even quicker than any other kind of technology. However, these are some examples of common EDDs, electronic devices, found in homes and offices and the likes, and they are listed out there for us as we know. And then these technologies are based on choice to know whether it should be a new one or a used technology. These all would depend basically on the economic factor of the nation in which they are being imported to. As we have said earlier on, most of the used technologies are imported into countries that are large in population and are not very rich, like a country like Nigeria, where over 50 containers of used EDDs are imported monthly into the country. However, this choice is based basically not only on the cost, but also on functionality too. And some of the users find it not too good to use the used ones. Therefore, they prefer to go for the newer models, probably because they are financially capable, or they just have the love for it and wouldn't mind to spend even their last money to get newer technologies or EDDs. However, e-waste are obsolete, outdated, broken, irreparable EDDs that are meant to be discarded and can no longer be reused or have reached its end of life. They are non-biodegradable biodegradable, and therefore it is seen that lack of effective disposal of these waste can lead to a whole lot of issues to the environment, and it is seen as, therefore it is seen as a silent epidemic which, if not curbed, can be very detrimental to mankind. However, there are some useful materials found in these wastes, such as the aluminium, copper, and the likes, and if they can be retrieved, they can also create economic benefit. However, the toxic materials such as lead, barium, mercury can also lead to some economic value too, otherwise they can be disposed effectively. Therefore, in Nigerian situation, just like I said earlier on, Nigeria is a very populous nation, and so most of the used EDDs are imported into Nigeria, where over 75% of them are irreparable. Only 25% of them are found functional, and therefore, because of this, most businessmen have dived into this business venture where they import these used technologies into Nigeria, sort out for the ones that are good and sell, and then the ones that are not good, they repair or refurbish as the case may be, unlock as the case may be. Otherwise, they keep them, the others, as spare parts to repair other ones when the need arises. These scraps are now later dumped when no longer used, and are now later dumped at dump sites or burnt with very high temperature by local recyclers to see how they can recycle to either get out something useful out of it or thereabouts. Otherwise, they are completely burnt or left at the dump site, creating even much more problems to the environment and to the humans living within the nation, within the country. With these obvious hazards encountered at the dump site, it is also seen as a crash-generated site, an opportunity site where most scavengers now also go and scavenge for e-waste, most especially amongst other items they may be going for. But their purposes, most of them, are to get e-waste products so they can dismantle it, they can refurbish it, they can recycle it, as the case may be, seeing that there still might be some economic benefits from some of these wastes that may have been disposed, sometimes by users themselves, not very really by the businessmen. Users who have used and feel they are no longer useful now end up dumping these wastes on the dump site, and then the scavengers use that as an opportunity to sort for them, dismantle them, and do all of those activities with them. However, national policies have been made to see how this management of these hazardous waste in the country can be regulated, but these laws have not yet been enforced due to lack of effective management of system and implementations of national laws in the country, creating loopholes and increasing the negative impact of e-waste in Nigeria. E-waste requires huge financial investment. However, the technologies to manage or recycle the e-waste generated, it's very huge. Therefore, government have also initiated the procurement of recycling machines or technologies to help curb the negative impacts of the e-waste generated in Nigeria. However, from statistics, it's seen that only plastics for now have been able to be recycled. Therefore, this situation has made great impact both in the environment and in the health situation of the people of Nigeria, causing great health challenges to most of the citizens. And these are the pollutants that are retrieved or likely to be gotten from indiscriminate disposal of these electronic waste. And these are the factors that have in fact influenced the e-waste management practices in Nigeria. Lack of awareness, lack of government policies, manufacturing and recycling industries, technical capabilities to recycle properly and effectively. These are some of the reasons why effective e-waste management in Nigeria has not been possible ever since. And then there's a way forward is that we ought to prevent environmental contamination through effective e-waste management practices. And then we can as well adopt the use of innovative business strategies using advanced technologies to be able to manage, control, track this e-waste and then recycle and or upcycle them to usable or valuable materials. Otherwise, we also have to create public awareness so people are aware of the dangers of indiscriminate disposal of e-waste, and then they ought to know what are the best practices to be adopted in order to curb the e-waste generation. The next is that we should build capacity. We have local recyclers, but how much of them have the right capacity to recycle properly? But when trained, they could develop better capacity to recycle effectively. Then there is also the effective e-waste management model framework, which means that where we are saying that of a truth, e-waste will grow over time as population increases and the need of used or even new products are also going to increase. However, we need to initiate effective management strategies to ensure that there is an enforcement of these strategies through the enforcement agencies, and then the media houses help us to advertise these effective management, the aspect of the public, where the public needs to be aware of what to be done to be able to collect, to be able to manage effectively the e-waste management practice. And then different firms or different groups can adopt the three models or the three arrow models or the 5 arrow models to curb this e-waste, or they can also adopt the buyback model. The buyback model, which is to buy back by manufacturing firms to buy back these products and then they go ahead to do the recycling themselves. Otherwise, we can build recycling capacity, thereby creating jobs for young entrepreneurs using initiatives. Here is a model that we can adopt for collection centers. So then collection centers can be built all around the nation, and the merchandise will collect. When they collect, they'll test the EDD. If they are functional, they can as well resell. If they are not functional, they cannot recycle or upgrade. Otherwise, they take it back to the manufacturers. And then the model here says the activities should be initiate a partnership scheme where you can organize there will be a partnership between a partnership for training youths to develop capacity in terms of recycling these e-waste, and then establish collection centers all across the country, so there will be easy accessibilities for users to easily dispose their e-waste instead of the dump site to these collection centers, and then enroll youths to enable to train them in these capacity development centers so they can acquire skills in recycling. Then as well, when they have acquired the skill, they should be enrolled into innovation hubs, recyclers innovation hubs, where they can now use these skills that they have adopted to set up startup firms for recycling and the likes, and then develop into a major company, and then adopt the use of mobile telephony technologies to be competitive and innovative, make it an attractive venture for people, young people to want to venture in. As we have said in conclusion, that technology innovation has caused increase of newer technologies and arose the need for more of it, making it, even though it has a short life and it gets obsolete even very fast. Generating e-waste is going to be there, it's continuous, and with the population of Nigeria and poverty rate, we know that the deposition of e-waste into the country will even increase much more over the years. However, public awareness is needed to enlighten the public of how to effectively manage the e-waste, and then law enforcement of these e-wastes to ensure that these practices are followed and crude recycling practices are stopped. Therefore, the need for an effective e-waste management practices using the 3 arrows model or 5 arrow models or take back model, and the building of capacity in recycling and upcycling using innovation hubs and creating e-waste management frames all around the country. These are the recommendations broadcast on media and social handles. Develop skills. Though expensive technologies initiatives can be introduced, all stakeholders are involved, public awareness is required, and take back schemes, collection centers are required across the nation. Thank you, and God bless.